Well, let me say, I saw some other narrative online say, "Oh, Kanye throws a brunch and gives you guys free food and some Yeezys, and all of a sudden he's not a coon." Let me explain something.
Ooh,
Let me tell you how the Yeezys came about. I was walking through the warehouse and I said, "Y'all got some extra Yeezys?" And he said, "Oh, we can't let people leave without a gift. I want everybody to get Yeezys today." I was like, "We can't. I don't know how I get no Yeezys. I don't know the sizes, but he put me in a text with the CEO of Adidas to figure out how to get everybody a pair of shoes delivered to them because he wanted people to leave with something. But I'll tell you what he left with was, I mean, you guys, and not just me, but you, the room filled him up. This is somebody who he knows he is important to the culture, and he knows that he's maybe said some things that have pissed the culture off, rightfully so. But he also loves it so much and believes that he's invested in it so much that it felt good to feel the culture show him love. And he received it, and it really made him feel really good. And the thing that I love about it, I'm gonna show you a photo really quick. This is a photo of Kanye West and I standing at the brunch. And right before we got started, I was about to sit down, and he said, "Don't sit down." And I said, "Whoa, we about to sit down and eat. Well, what are we gonna do?" He said, "No, we're gonna stand here and be great together." I was like, "Okay." Now, mind you, he paid for this. Adidas didn't pay for it. Now, don't trip. I am asking brands to pay for it now because now I want to put it out so people can see it. We filmed the entire thing. We knew we were filming because we were going to post on social media, but I just left the edit right now. Nah, that thing needs to come out in its totality. But when we stood there together, the power in standing together was a symbol of us combining our collective and individual power. And when we sat down at the table, it was about us evening out the power at the table. There was nobody greater than nobody else. It wasn't about Blue or me or Damage or James or Amber or Kanye. It was one conversation with one group of people who have all at some point felt marginalized. In a month where we're reminded of the past, which is important, but it's not the past that should define how we're able to progress forward. And I've said before, I think his mind of being very abstract and thinking very broadly at times, and there's a lot going on where he has all these ideas, may not come out the most appropriate way. Again, that's not making an excuse. That's just my own observation from talking to him and interacting with him. But what I saw was a flawed man who's flawed like me, be very intentional. And that day he went and did something else that was phenomenal. I've been to Sunday service several times. Kanye is not one that's ever allowed social media to be a part of Sunday service or to allow the media in. And right before Sunday service performed, he looked at me and he said, "Should we let him post?" And I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "Okay, tell him to post on social media." His team was like, "Are you sure he said they could post?" I'm like, "He just told me they could post." And when I told everybody, you would have thought I announced the Super Bowl winners or something. Everybody's like, "Yeah, we're gonna post on social media." And they started posting, and all that power in the room and all the takeaways of everybody posting positive things on the internet. There had to be one hater in the group, and at this time it was Revolt. I got a tweet from Revolt, Damage Your Old Employer, tweeted this. Take a look. Waiting on our invitation to Sunday service. Now, I'm not sure if they got some new intern over there that has some kind of bug up their ass, or either Puffy must be on a yacht with one of his model friends or something. But somebody is asleep at Revolt. You guys, I have reached out to you. I've been over there. Damage used to work for y'all. Y'all know our numbers. But when you exclude yourself from the table, you can't then turn around and say you've been excluded from the table. You didn't include yourself. You don't reach back. You don't build. Revolt has lost the Breakfast Club. They lost State of the Culture, and they lost the Justin LeBoy show. What is your program even doing over there? What do you have news? What are you doing? You hired Karen Civil to be somewhat involved in your digital program. I don't even see y'all online. I would love to have built with Revolt. In fact, in 2016, I went to Revolt with Shelby Stone and Queen Latifah with a project, and you told me that ain't what y'all do over there. So I'm confused, but I found it interesting that now that we're building momentum, people are making it all about them and wanting to come out and be a hater. And just it was so annoying. And I posted on my Instagram. You can go take a look, but the hate is not necessary, people. Like I said, there's room at the table for everybody. Well, what did you guys think about the Sunday service? Was that your first time?
I was a Sunday service virgin. I had never been before. I cried when the babies came out. Like I could not take it. God was in the room, y'all. And I say that, and I don't say that lightly. there was a moment where I was so aware of God's presence in the room. I felt like moved to tears. There was so much love in the room. And it also made me think about all the times that I've judged people who were celebrated from a distance, not really knowing where their heart is. So it's going to make me more mindful about who I wag a finger at, because what I saw at Sunday service, you couldn't fake that. And afterwards, Jason, I was part of that promo that they did afterwards, and I stayed behind and did a promo with the Sunday service choir, and they all stood around me in a circle while I talked about what my vision is for the future of the Black community. And at one point, they all started clapping for me, and I started crying. There was so much love in that circle. I don't know when the video is coming out, but like that purity, I really, really wish our community as a whole really knew how powerful we are when we all come together from a place of love and God. And I felt God that day.
So let me show you a couple more visuals from that brunch. Take a look. This is a table of all of us sitting there. This was the dynamic. This was a V-shaped setup where we could all face each other. It was very intentional about being able to look each other in the face and talk with one another. And you can see everybody was dressed in all black. And the planning of sunlight hitting the ground, timing. They had somebody there who timed when the sun would be at a certain place to shine into the space. Very, very
Wow.
powerful visuals that I'm showing you here. But again, this came together from two people who were completely or come from completely different backgrounds. Now, what I will say is that um, the one question that was asked by Connie Orlando from BET, she heads up all of their music live events and stuff and all their programming over there. She said, "What's next? What's next? How do we turn this into a
Mhm.
movement? How do we turn this into something?" And she and I have had a phone call since then, and we're going to create a smaller group of people to kind of flesh out what some ideas are, so we can pull together this idea that we can bring back to the larger group and build from. And also, the visual from that day will be released. We don't know where it will be released. We don't know when, but it will be released. And folks, please be on the lookout for that.